In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own Control4 scenario experience buttons using my free driver generator application. So the first thing to do is to download the zip file that contains the application. You can do this by visiting my website, denosis.com. That's DNOSYS.com, and then download now. I will mention, even though this is free, if you want to leave a tip for me and Peanut, that would be greatly appreciated, especially since his little brother, Butter, is moving in with us in about a week. So, tips are appreciated. All right, so once we have the zip file downloaded, then we're going to want to extract the contents of that zip file until you see this, these 5 files. We have a README, we have a JavaScript file, a Lua XML file, and then the .maxpat file. So this file that starts with the underscore, that ends with .maxpat, that is the actual application. You can kind of ignore the rest of them. I will mention, keep all of these files together. They look for each other, so they need to be in the same folder. So don't move them around. All right, so we have the files, but we need to run this .maxpat file using a software called Max8. Max8 you can download for free from cycling74.com. So go to cycling74.com and then download. And then here you can download it for free. It says it's free for 30 days. That's not true. It's free forever. It gives you more features if you pay for it, but we don't need any of those features to run my driver generator. You don't even need to start a free trial. So you can just totally ignore creating accounts and things like that. So, all right, so once we have Max8 installed and running, and we have our zip file extracted, now I'm going to double click on the file that starts with the underscore to open it inside Max8. And here we go. Here's the scenario experience button generator. You can see we have a help section. If we click here, and I will close that again. Basically, all we have to do is enter in the information into these different fields, drag our images into the areas here, and then press save. So we're going to make a driver called Peanuts Driver. So I've named this Peanuts Driver, driver creator. I'm going to say Derek at denosis.com. Driver version, let's say this is the second version of this driver. Off name, we'll call it Peanut Off. We want to toggle on and off by default, so we're going to leave toggle on. And then I'm going to call this Peanut On. We've filled out our information fields. Now we just have to add our images. So I'm going to go to my pictures folder. Here's Peanut Off because he's sleeping. Here's Peanut On because he's at the beach. And here's Peanut Icon because he looks like Mozilla Firefox there. So we have our images, we have our information fields. All we have to do is press save. Before we do this, I do want to mention this is an experimental version 1 release of this application. So if you want to open up the Debug Console, you can go to Window, Sidebar, Max Console, and basically this is your debug screen. So if this process breaks at any point, copy this entire bug console and send it to me. You can send it to me at scenario@denosis.com. So just copy and paste this debug console and then send it to me, and then I can kind of try and see where it broke and why. So I'm going to press save. We can see it is thinking and working, and it says create driver complete. So we have generated the files for our driver. It will automatically save the files in your documents, Control4, drivers section right at the top here. So you can see there's a folder now called Experience Button Scenario Peanuts Driver. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy this name, Control-C, and then if I open up this file, you can see that we have the actual XML file has input all of the information that you entered. It's automatically created the last modified time as the time that you generated the driver. And if we go into these folders, you can see all of the images are correctly sized in here and so on. So what we have to do now is go to this screen, take the XML file, the Lua file, and the www folder, right-click, send to zip file. There we go. Now I'm going to paste the folder name, so I'm going to press Control-V, and then I'm going to change .zip to .c4z. Says it may become unusable. We'll say yes. And there we go. We have our .c4z file. So one of the last things we need to do is now take this and drag it up one folder so that it is added to our Documents Control4 Drivers folder. So now if I scroll down, you'll see we have Experience Button Scenario Peanuts Driver .c4z. It's really important that you name this driver the exact same thing as this folder, just with the .c4z at the end, because that is how the driver knows to pull the images in. So make sure it's the same name. All right, so we have it in our drivers folder. The last thing is, let's just open up Composer. So I'm going to open up Composer, and then going to wait a second here for the registration. We're going to connect to our local system. And what's cool is that as long as the driver is added into this Control4 Drivers folder, it will automatically load it the next time you open Composer. So if Composer was already opened and we added this driver into this folder, it wouldn't find it. You basically would have to close Composer and then open it back up. So we are connected to my system. Let me go ahead and collapse some rooms here. We have living kitchen. I'm going to go to search, make sure local is selected. I'm going to type peanut, and look at that. We got Peanuts Driver. And if you hover over it, you can get some more information. Go to info, and it has the creator, has the version number, has the time that you exported the driver. I'm going to go ahead and drag it into my living kitchen. You can see I have a lot of test experience drivers in here, but we have Peanuts Driver. Notice how it automatically loads the on name and the off name and the toggle state. And then if I double click, you can see here is Peanut off. There's Peanut on. And we have our little icon too, our Mozilla Firefox Peanut icon over to the side. So just like that, we have created a scenario button from scratch, and it's way easier than having to Photoshop and resize all of those images. So I hope this works for you. Let me know if it doesn't. Again, if you have any issues, please just email me at scenario@denosis.com, and hopefully I can help you get them resolved.